This is the most broken Viper ult in Valorant history. Making you nearly invincible, it requires possibly the most cringe lineup you've ever seen. And we're gonna be comparing this pit to one on Icebox where if laid out properly, will instantly win you rounds, a dual-purpose toxic screen that acts as an invisibility cloak, while at the same time, a terrifying retake wall, and everything else that makes Viper so broken that players have been begging Riot to nerf her for a 10th time. Starting with a clutch that requires the IQ of Albert Einstein. Starting in a 2-3 setup, PaperX planned on fighting for mid with a nasty double P combo, backed up by a cascade and recon dart from the support players. Securing the space should grant access to blazing fast rotates between either site. But the hero of this story and her friends are pounding it into A behind two big ultimates. Between their Cosmic Divide and Toxic Screen, Gen G essentially have the entire round to work the site and get the plant down. The defense are hot out of the gate behind a Yorublind side, cascade, recon, but no one's there. The Gen G are already contacting their way up shop. Munchkin lays down his wall, Lakia pops his Brussels sprouts, and Meteor pops a cage to scramble vision from a potential op. Now between a Trailblazer, Gravwell, and Nova Pulse, how is Divide going to hold the site?
Seeker's been activated. Forsaken's just charging right in. Divide? Does he even get spotted? No, he doesn't even have to look.
Because Gen G were only coming from one choke point, this concentrated fire put Jet down to 1 HP before she even had a chance to entry, and she faceplants. And with Divide's wall and orb sectioning off site, Gen G realized that they need more time to break into it. They have no other map control. There's no backing out of this plan now. Karen lays out his Cosmic Divide, and wait a second, where's everyone going? Hey Doc, you hear anything? No. Do you think they're going B? Because you can't hear anything past Astro's Cosmic Divide, the defense are gambling that they're booking it back to B after facing so much resistance on A. But this resistance never mattered. This purple giant acts as a riot shield, allowing Gen G to take site without taking any more damage. They scale up, take the site, and this endless cover provides Viper a safe haven to get off the God Ultimate. By lining it up like so, this Oppenheimer-sized fart bubble covers the entirety of site, but at the same time, gives Viper a sliver of safe space to play in. So if PaperX want to take this green mist down, they need to push deep into shop just to even sniff Viper. But the longer you're in here, the less health you have. See the issue? Teets, you're a Dumbo. Can't they just spam the safe spot in the ult? It's so predictable where she's gonna play. Jimmy, come here. This is what PaperX see. How are they supposed to know where the safe spot is? It's impossible. But now that PaperX realized that the spike's been planted, they've rotated back to A just in time for the big purple curtain to get pulled back and realize the monstrosity they have to deal with. They start poking and prodding around the bubble. Recon for Ivy, High Tide to separate the attackers, and Cypher doesn't want his team to get crunched.
Gotta watch out for those players up inside A main. How do you break this?
Onyet, though.
Okay, well, that didn't do much. But site's clear, and now all eyes are turned onto Viper.
To actually get the one up. Viper's pit, use the snake bite to get a little bit of damage. No one's defusing the spike, and Munchkin through the smoke. Oh, this is going horribly wrong for PaperX. Someone's gonna have to start defusing it. Someone's gonna have to hold him. Munchkin, what can you do? Absolutely everything.
Normally, you don't want to step out of your Viper's pit as it bolsters down so much of sight, and you have a slight outline advantage being able to see people more brightly and clearly before they see you. But when you have an entire stampede coming in, you have to give it up. Now here, jumping out allowed Munchkin to create separation for himself and mow down the zombies charging at him. Then the remaining players didn't feel safe sticking the defuse because it would tank their HP. This Viper ult was insane as it covered so much ground and protected Viper enough, enabling her to win this 2 versus 5. Think that pit was broken? Wait till you see this one.
Open up the sky.
Cloud9 are starting in an initial 2-3 setup where Brimstone is plopping a smoke down in showers for Raze, but is immediately pivoting back to B to help reinforce the weaker site. Wow, the round hasn't even started yet, but MIBR have already lost. Because their round starts with a Sky sending a bird down long to apply pressure, but she's already turning back to head towards short, meaning the offense's plan was to go A, not knowing that this mutant Viper ult is clogging up this entire lane. By lining up with the door like this against the buy barrier, your smoke screen now leaks near the entrance to lamps. Once again, giving you an even bigger free parking space than we've seen in the previous round. But I don't get it. What are MIBR thinking? With Jet's position, she saw this brim smoke go down in shower, and Raze has sent her boombot past it. So to the offense, it looks like 3 defenders are here, plus a Viper's ult. Do they have a read? Are they that confident? Do they have a death wish?
As you dog down towards the short, he still stays alive within the back. The satchels now to try to clear it out, and Whippy gets that pick, and there you go, the great position across for C9. Shorty at least stops that pick from staying out. And the showstopper then comes out, leaving MIBR scattered towards the back of the A. They couldn't control all.
With the amount of time it took to get from one end of the ult to the other, Jen and Raze just didn't have a lot of HP, making this first kill a layup for Whippy, and then Zeppa just had to sneeze on FRZ and he was dead and cleaned Jet up. This is also why Raze was paired up with Viper in this setup. Her AoE abilities should be farming free kills if the offense even dared to push through these smokes, and they did. But what was Brim and Sky's plan? Zeppa's nade cut them off from their Viper. Now, not only does this ult make Viper nearly untouchable, but it also wraps around short, forcing Sky to sit in here and take a bajillion damage while her dog also gets gassed. This ult single-handedly won this round for Cloud9, but I somehow have better ones to show you. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of players pick Viper because of the ridiculous amounts of lineups that she has, but I guarantee you've never seen lineups like this. Guys, we need to have a talk. There have been a lot of you bombarding the comment section asking me if I'm ever going to do coaching. And I would love to, but there's also a lot of you who watch my videos. Like a lot. So I came up with the next best thing. I started a Patreon. By becoming a Brain Bud, you'll unlock a ton of bonus exclusive Teets content. I'm talking map-specific agent tier lists, my pick'ems and Q&A videos, access to Discord channels where you can talk directly to me, permission to join in on breakdowns that I do live in my server, and a lot more. But my favorite, and I think best feature, is access to my collection of handmade duos playbooks, each of which have been designed by yours truly and are full of VCT level plays that you and your duo can abuse in your ranked games for free RR. I literally walk you through each step of the play and explain to you what to do with each piece of your utility and how to maximize its value. It's like having me in your ear live during ranked. So if you want to support me, these expensive ass videos, and have an advantage over your opponents, go check out my Patreon. I've created all this brand new extra content and I'd love for you to check it out. Please, I'm begging. Starting with all 5 players towards A, that's where RRQ are headed. With 4 ultimates online, this site should be a walk in the park. But why is there Viper wall on B? Well, when laid and lined up like this, it denies so much information from the defense. When it goes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, or all 5 attackers could be scaling up behind it. And it also cuts off all the sight. And now because Gen G are set up in a 1-2-2, odds are that this wall is going to either A, prevent a stack, or B, push KO back, giving them a ton of free space. Plus, with this much firepower, they can afford using their only smokes on B. RRQ wastes no time and rip a recon with Thrash following right behind, scaling Belt, clearing this whole half of A main. Thrash gets shot, Aldrin goes out, it forces the op back, and Killjoy activates her lockdown. Now all the offense have to do is sit back and wait for the ult to cook. But all the defense are here. With several mollies ready to delay the plant, and everyone here in position, there's a strong chance Gen G go for a flood. But wait, where are RRQ planning?
Gonna get a delay. Flipshider now. He's gonna be getting the plant. The swing onto the corner. He's gonna get caught. No, Elmymore gets the headshot. Shuts him down and saves Whip's life. 1 for 1 thus far. The res, however, can still come through, and they're looking for it. The swing onto the corner. They need to get the punish, and they do. Elmymore once again putting him down to the ground, this time for good. Straight up, fallen. The pit invested. As they come creeping forward, it's going to be a counter pit here from Charon. Things start getting more and more chaotic. Elmymore now finding himself his 3rd kill. The pit from Gen G taken out of the equation. The 2v2, the ace attempt. Elmymore going to be taken down. Texture taps the spike, but time is dwindling, and Xpharaoh stands his ground.
RRQ had an entire arsenal to fling at the spike. Now, don't get me wrong, Gen G did try to deny the plant by scaling in behind Dizzy, Wingman, and Kale's null command. But Elmymore saved his Gecko skin from the top of 410. And because Gen G had to stop to pick their KO back up, the offense had a small window to drop back, get their ult off, and play safe. And if you look closely, this is how Viper was able to line up her ult. Notice how every broken pit we've covered so far are ones that give Viper areas to take cover in. And in order to get her out of this one, you have to wrap all the way around 410, maze, and then peek into a million different off angles and still push into this pit. Or you can walk down this trail of tears and be 1 HP by the time you get to the source. It's a lose-lose. As a matter of fact, Gen G lost as soon as his haze got spread out. Viper had lineups that bounced off the ceiling, Gecko had Mosh Pit, which covers an entire football field, Killjoy nanos that you have to be ready to shoot at any given second while you're trying to defuse, and Sova was on a late mid-wrap ready to ricochet his shocks off the ceiling as well and electrocute anyone who's 1 HP trying to stick the spike. spike, but he got shot in the face. Every piece of utility got used to stall the retake and prevent the defuse. And if you ever find this much space in your games, give this ult a try. And now, Jimmy, relax. I know what you're thinking. Teets, Viper's ult costs 9 orbs. We don't have that every round. How else can we abuse Viper's utility? All right, well, here's something you can use on any map, on any round. DRX have just one pistol, then the eco, putting them on their bonus. With worse weapons across the board, they need to take some risks. Starting in a 2-2-1, the defense are enabling their duelist with Cypher holding jets back in mid, and Sova and Yoru are going for a double peek down halls, with the duelist insta-pushing down, taking the space for a potential early flank. But what about Viper? Well, her wall is lined up to imitate a retake wall, where the defense can scale up, stick the spike, and kill the offense as they peek and try to spam the diffuser. But that's not what Mako's plan is. This rat has other things in store. DFM opened the round with a snakebite shot combo to deter an aggressive peek. Yoru grabs his 6th orb, and now it's time for other players to gather info to influence their next move. Cypher spy cam's elbow, Harbor jiggles halls, both support spotting both duelists.
DRX are getting aggressive elsewhere. The rest should be playing passive in sight, right?
I mean, it's possible. Some people are good at hiding it.
Oh, but look at this. And the drone does not spot him as well. Screen is running out though, and DFM hasn't pushed out all too far, so Mako still...
Mako heard this drone coming and raised his wall, giving himself a cubby to cloak himself from it. But there's an extra layer to this play. Because Mako didn't know whether or not the offense was actually out, Stax and Buzz comboed their clone and dart to clear the space for him. And once they didn't get any scans and the decoy made it all the way through, he dropped his towel. So to DFM, this entire area should be clear, and Mako knows this.
He's holding so close too.
Medusa off of the Lurk, able to capture Foxy9. Mako instantly getting the trade-off.
And the snakebite is...
There are walls like this you just saw that you can do on every map. These tiny right holes waste the offense's time or utility. And they even out the gun advantage as the attackers need to come to you to clear out this pocket. Unless you're being obvious or predictable. So while Mako halted this entire force of this A execute, what happened on B? Well, Medusa activated the cage to cross back from window, and it dazed the outlaw, finding Cypher the first blood. Okay, that's whatever. Nice try. But Cypher, this dude can walk up behind you. This isn't a time to be taking a whiz. With this opener, the attackers feel like all of B is open for business. They sprint away from shop, back to their Cypher, and now that it's quiet on A, Yoru TP's back to spawn.
He was pretty much part of the wall as a statue right there.
Oh, what?
3 out of 5.
Well,
This extra kill has accelerated the offense. B has to be free. But through all the chaos, Stax has found a secret passage back on the site. How many is he going to get?
I don't know, a bit of a comms breakdown perhaps.
30 seconds
Some
left.
questionable moves, but at the end of the day, DFM 4v2 advantage to try to break into the B site.
Last player
Anthem was on the Lurk as well.
All right, we'll see if Stax can dig them out of this one, but nah, it's not.
While Mako's rat wall couldn't win his team the round, it gave them a very good chance. And if you want to see more insane Viper tech like this, check out this video here.